Hello, beloveds. My title is The Divine Illumines My Way. And so that's why I spoke so positively about the sunshine today. Because I know when I choose a title that everything falls into the path for me. And so my intention is to always remember what I'm speaking about, maybe not the words, but to pay attention to decision of the title to today, to delivering of some message that needs to be revealed. And so this came in through me sometime in December. So just for a sort of reference. For those who are students of Science of Mind teachings, which is what we teach here, metaphysics and all of the isms combined and all the best aspects of all the religions and spiritual practices of the world, we try and bring all that together in this one place. And I think we do a pretty good job, don't you? Yeah, okay. And there's a long-standing statement which is a cornerstone of awareness for this teaching. And it's this. There are 3 words. Thoughts are things. It's one of the first little mantras that I heard. Thoughts are things. And Reverend Lisa, thank you. You spoke right to that. Perfect illumination on the path. Another way to say that same thing is what you truly believe about yourself, your spiritual self, is what appears as your life. Sounds simple, doesn't it? And it really is. Except for there's that great big pile of untruths labeled our belief add-ons that we've accumulated in our lives and from our experiences, isn't there? That tends to tell us something other than. And those add-ons are caused by words that you hear, experiences you've had, images you've seen that you continually and most times unconsciously welcome into your belief system, which many of you know I call our BS. It's our belief system. And sometimes it's really quite good for us, and other times it's not. Which brings me to another cornerstone of this teaching, and it's this. Be consciously conscious, which means be aware, even in the midst of whatever is occurring in you, around you, and ultimately through you. You know what? Right now in this world, there's a lot going on out there, isn't there? A lot. There's Southern California, there's USA, and the world. It's all over the divine place. All of this BS showing up everywhere. And we're like a bug to a bulb. It's hard not to look, isn't it? And it's hard not to feel. Well, we should feel. We should feel. And I'll get to that. Well, we get into this human flight or fight response, which I said is exampled in us and the world. There's that devastation from the fires in Southern California. And those people's lives have been uprooted. There's the appearance of political divisiveness, separation, and a broad range of deep, deep, deep emotion. No denial here. It's all going on. Breathe, please. Well, the call, beloveds, I believe, is to remain, sounds simple, consciously conscious. But while we're doing that, to focus on the truth of who we are, of who you are, and all that surrounds you, including the humanity in which we reside, because there is humanity in the midst of all of that. We haven't seen it yet. It's on the path that is yet to be illumined. It's also to know more deeply that there is a call for more of the divine love at the center of you, which you carry, which you own first and foremost. That each moment, every individual, and all situations, it's a call that may seem at times like elusive or missing. The science of mind assures us that love points the way and law makes the way possible. In order to allow love of the divine is to point or illumine the way, says Emerson. And Emerson also advises that we get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits. We get in our own way, don't we? We stub our own toe. No one does it for us. I can't blame anybody else for my stubbed toe. I tried as a kid. I didn't do it. The door did it. Whatever. In other words, we short-circuit our good. And when we do that, we short-circuit all of our good future experience. In the book, As We Think, So We Are, by James Allen, it is a guide to transforming our lives. And I really enjoyed the pieces that many pieces in here which I'll share. And here's one. It's in chapter 2, titled The Effect of Thought on Circumstances. And I quote, "The thoughts you've built into your character have brought you to where you are today. For thought and character are one." Took me a moment to get that. "And the outer conditions of your life will always harmoniously reflect your inner state, since everyone's character manifests and discovered through his or her environment and circumstance." He writes further in the chapter, "We all reach the height of our highest hopes and fall to the level of our lowest thoughts in the world. For our circumstances are the means by which we receive our own." I'm going to read that again. I had to. "We all reach the height of our highest hopes and fall to the level of our lowest thoughts in the world. For our circumstances are the means by which we receive our own." To me, it means we either own it deeply, take it in. Usually when you own something, you don't want to give that up, do you? It could be very divisive. He goes on to say, "And this is because we each attract what we secretly hold true." Yikes. No judgment. We attract what we secretly hold true, what we love as well as what we fear. End quote. So to realize a greater truth, I say embrace the spirit of the divine. Keep unfolding and illuminate your path forward with your greater truth. I dedicate and honor today's celebration to one, Jimmy Carter, and two, to those affected by the fires in Southern California. So let's just take those two as big pieces of humanity and surround all that in love just for a moment. So it is. So to the spirit of Jimmy Carter, for his humanity and compassion and faith throughout his life that exemplified his consciousness. He was clear and unwavering, a bright light which continues to guide others even today. As I watched the many celebrations of his life, I was deeply touched by his life story. For it's at those times we get to learn more about a person. And we know that when we attend any one of our friends, family, loved ones' celebrations of life. From peanut farmer to president. For most, being the president would kind of be it, wouldn't it? What else could you do? What else could you do? What could possibly be more? Well, he was neither defined nor limited, but rather propelled by something within himself to do something greater, wasn't he? And he did. We all know what that is. Habitat for Humanity was birthed through Jimmy Carter and Rosalind. And what I think is so timely is that we, Center for Spiritual Living, Chico, has volunteered to assist Habitat for Humanity by helping the home building in Paradise on that land gifted by the Paradise Center for Spiritual Living after the campfire of 2018. Many people, myself included, marveled at Carter's longevity, 100 years. When I heard that he had made his transition, I was drawn into his life story. I've studied and teach that life is never over, that well beyond the veil of life into life, one's life force, energy, legacy, and light continue for good. So, I've known over the many years that we make our transition at the perfect time. We don't know why. Because we can't know why then. It only comes with being further down the path upon reflection. Well, this is what I think is why. One of the reasons why. I remember the God bumps I felt seeing all the living former presidents and many members of Congress across the party lines seated in the presence of something divine. A coming together for a greater good of country and all centered in God consciousness. That's just amazing. Ooh. Thank you, President Carter, for your consciousness and love of humanity. And for the people in Southern California, let's remember to love them, to support them with a consciousness of unity and of oneness and of caring, because we are truly in this life together. Many of us in this room were directly or indirectly affected by the campfire in 2018. And I, for one, as is James, grateful for Monty and Jim Cameron for being within, I don't even think it was noon, I get a text, "You're welcome to be with us." So, we're a community, we're connected, and if you have the urge to reach out to anything for anyone for any reason, do that. That is your purpose at that moment. What I also know is that in perfect time and in place, the demonstration through the loving consciousness and knowing of a greater good that we all can be part of, that Southern California will re-emerge as new life. It will require work in our mental house. It's not easy. To remain clear and conscious and wake up each morning into the idea that indeed there is a new dawning of humanity. It's easy to judge what wasn't done right. Let's drop that. We all learn. We all grow. We all get through stuff. What we're called to do is know the perfect solution is appearing on the illumined path. So please say with me, as we think, so we are. As I think, so I am. I am consciousness expressing as love. So it is. So, speaking of the illumined path, I have an example, a true example that, it came to me just a couple of weeks ago, and it's this. And you may want to get the slides ready, okay? Not yet, but I'll put this finger up when I'm ready. This one here. There's a man named, I love his name, Bugsy Sailor. A ship, sailor, who lives in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. One morning over 6 years ago, he got up very early, had no breakfast, drove an hour to the shoreline to take a few pictures. What he saw and felt were both beautiful and compelling. Just there yet? Yeah. Let's say this. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you are doing, you will be successful. Which leads in perfectly to the first image. He captured a kaleidoscope of colors on that shoreline. The sky, the turbulence, and the stillness. From that first moment, he knew this was his purpose. What's that? Oh, could the house lights go down a little bit, please? Okay. Perfect. Look at that. Thank you. It was the beginning of a morning practice, which I term spiritual, and it continues to this day. No matter the weather, he continued every single morning. Every morning, Bugsy rises before dawn. Can you imagine getting up before dawn, before breakfast? Nothing. Driving an hour. every day of the year, snow, rain, icy cold, to see this one-of-a-kind view. Now, why, you might ask? Why? Because he must. It's something he must do. Now, Bugsy owns a small gift store in his town where he lives. And guess what? He's found he could sell his photos. And so people come into his store and they say, "Oh, these are pretty." He says, "Yeah, I took those." "Oh, you did." So he has quite a validation, I would say. Yes, this is your purpose. I love what you do. And I found out that he has a tremendous online following. And they keep encouraging him to keep on clicking. Keep on clicking. And many of you know that one of my morning spiritual practices is to step outside year-round, not as far as Bugsy goes, just outside my little door. But that is year-round. I do that every day. And breathe in the air, sense the newness of the day. And I declare the good which awaits my recognition of it and my acceptance of it. So Bugsy has motivated me to take it one step further. And this is an early morning photo I took a couple of weeks ago in Chico in Philadelphia Square. It's the old Swedes church steeple. So I've always loved sunrises and sunsets because it's a kind of bookends of a beautiful day or the experience I've had. And the sunset is a promise of the sunrise and, so forth and so on. So it's the continuity of this life, which I cherish. And so I'd like to invite each of you to follow your illumined path of the divine, to realize the magnificence of you, the beauty of you, the calm in the midst of the storm, the turbulence and the stillness. Because your humanity is a supportive prescription for good. And always, always remember to allow the divine in you to illumine your path and that of others all around you, which ultimately illumines the world. Consciously. How about it? Let's create a world that works for everyone in harmony, in peace, and always in love. Namaste. And so it is. Let me see. Oh, special music again. What a treat today is with you. Thank you.